I think we're in a gray war. And for folks that aren't familiar with that term, it's really a conflict that is not kinetic. So you've got those near peers that we talked about, China, Russia, North Korea, Iran, and others in the world that have taken advantage of the time that we spent taking care of that global threat on terrorism to build their own capabilities. And during that time, they've been able to create industrial capability in their countries, create technological capability in their countries, where they are now able to have an impact on this country. And some of it is visible and some of it is invisible. We know what's going on. Director Wray spoke about this several times over the past month, where the Chinese have absolutely infiltrated the infrastructure of this country and have a capability, if they choose to do so, to have an impact. And those impacts could be very far-reaching for the average person in this country. And I don't think most people really understand what that would look and feel like. To have a denial of service from an electrical perspective, denial of service from a water perspective. You think about it when we all go through a windstorm or just a power outage in our neighborhoods, 4 or 6 hours, people are losing their minds, right?
Oh, yeah.
Think about if you were gone 4 weeks, 6 weeks before the grid was restored in your particular area, what would happen? Things break down pretty quickly in that setting. And so those types of capabilities with any one of those countries is a real possibility. And it's something that we need to think about. It's something we need to plan for. And from the private sector perspective in U.S. industry, some of those gray war tactics are being deployed against U.S. companies because those U.S. companies create capability for the U.S. government. The U.S. government doesn't really build or produce anything. The private sector does it all for them. So whether it's intelligence, platforms that are used by the military, other capabilities, that all comes from the private sector. So those countries leverage that. They know where things are built. And those companies, both overtly and covertly, can be targeted, and their capabilities can be impacted. So that has a real impact on the private sector, and we need to think about it. As a chief security officer, you need to understand, are you in one of those verticals that would likely be targeted? And if so, what have you done to the extent possible with your company to plan for it from a business resiliency perspective? So it's I think, a big time challenge out there. And there are a lot of folks that do think about it. There are a lot of folks that haven't given it any thought. And that's what's kind of scary.